So the bio-brain interface is built to hook into sensors, some that we've made ourselves, some that are commercially available, as well as bio-equipment that is routinely available in the lab, and collect that information across scales automatically without the scientist needing to do an active action for it. That means that the information is pervasively collected, centralized in one place. And now the scientists can spend their time actually trying to uncover the root cause of success or failure, but really stay in the experiment. They don't have to take their mind off of the experiment to say, ooh, I now need to go collect this piece of information every 15 minutes. This is a very tedious environment right now. So we do all the design, all the hardware and all the software work necessary to enable this centralized collection. So today in the laboratory, a scientist would generate data either by pipetting liquids around or creating vessels that contain this material, then typically go to a machine. This machine would either spit out a piece of information immediately or later on. The scientist is responsible for coming back to that machine or centralizing this information right now. So this is one of the major issues that we see. The other is also that the moment between data generation and data collection is often actually quite far apart. So when a scientist goes in the lab and does an experiment, they are generating data. Their hands are often busy, right? Because they are generating using tools, etc. They also have gloved hands that may be contaminated, right? So one of the major issues that you have here is that because of this gap, because of this immersion that the scientists really need to immerse themselves in doing the protocol, they put off necessarily the time to record this information. And so it ends up being recorded at the end of the day. A lot of information gets lost that way. Small deviations from the protocol are often not recorded. And so that leads to a wealth of information that just is missing. So for example, if we were to take an example of a sample that may be a little bit more viscous than usual, right? This is an observation that the scientists may do at this point in time. They might write it down on a Post-it. If they're really disciplined, they might write it down in a notebook, but there it stays. It stays, it's very difficult to draw that out of the context and then look at the longitudinal aspect of the experiment. That scientists may have done that experiment 5 times already, where the viscosity has subtly changed, but it's very, very difficult. It's nearly impossible today to actually see that information longitudinally.